And gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Ceadery. This is episode 531. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
KC, how are we?
Hey.
What you got to say? It's the best. New Balance. What if someday we're sponsored by New Balance and they pull up receipts?
What about what we're doing is worthy of like revoking said sponsorship? I mean,
I don't know.
We're vibing with what they're putting out there.
I said last episode, when's the last time you bought something or wore something New Balance?
That could change.
I feel like I would shift gears. Yeah, if we hauled in a big fish like that, you know?
No free ads, but don't sleep on New Balance. I mean, they
not baseball.
By the way,
gear.
did you know that Shohei is
really?
Yeah, actually, yeah, he's a big time New Balance guy.
I had no idea.
In case you didn't know, watching MLB Network, big New Balance guy. He's pretty good at baseball, and it's a little known fact around this business they call show. Where you want to start? You want to start? How about no? You know what? Let's start with this. Let's start by you or with you introducing a little idea you had over the weekend. You hit me up with
a new Sunday segment. It's a new Sunday segment. We're going to pull some type of broadcast call, whether it be TV or radio. Might have a clip, might not. We're going to play it and then we're going to rate it. And I feel like what a great way to kick it off was something historic that was done this weekend.
You set me up? Is that my cue?
That was teeing you up, yeah.
All right. Here we go.
What are you doing over there? You're texting? What do we got?
I'm getting the word out about
lock it in,
what
guy.
we're doing. All right, I'm locked in. Here we go. Historic Eugenio Suarez.
Suarez! Fly ball! There's 4! And we're tied! There have been 19 four-homer games in Major League history, the last 2 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. J.D. Martinez in 2017 at Dodger Stadium, and today at Chase Field.
Eugenio Suarez, a 4-homer
We're
game.
going to rate the call first?
Hold on. I'm laying the groundwork.
On, man.
I'm laying the groundwork. Eugenio Suarez, 19th player in Major League history to hit 4 homers in a game in which they would go on to lose to the Atlanta Braves.
Tough.
That was a great game, by the way. Don't know how much of that you caught.
Wish I could have watched.
Yeah, that's on Uncle Robbie, isn't it? The call, though. Take us away.
I think it was solid. I don't think it was fantastic. My struggle with this is that it is an historic moment. Like that, these are more rare than perfect games, which is crazy. There's been, I think, 24 perfect games.
As our triple plays, if I'm not mistaken.
No, triple plays are huge. I saw a graphic today.
No, then what am I thinking of? There's something that we've talked about before where it's like even more rare than a...
There was the Yankees graphic today during the broadcast showed like this is the 19th four home run game. There's been 24 perfect games, and there's like a huge jump to like 6 hit games, And then triple plays. There's been like almost 200 triple plays. So it's,
maybe 4 homer game. Yeah, maybe that is what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think this is like it's the most rare thing. Maybe we were talking like 20 strikeout games, something like that. That's obviously more rare. Could have been that.
Hold on. I got to get to the bottom of this. Is a triple play more rare? Why?
Just put in how many triple
unassisted. Plays. That's what it was. That's what we okay. Because I was like, we haven't talked about a 4 homer game in a minute. It's the unassisted triple play. That's what's more rare than a perfect game. Noted. Okay, but back to this call.
Anyway, I think
you want to run it back. Should we run it back? Should we run it back?
Let's give it one more.
Did you already give a grade? Sorry, I was looking that up. Okay, let's run it back one more time.
You're all over the place today.
Suarez! Fly ball! There's 4! And we're tied! There have been 19 four-homer games in Major League history, the last 2 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. J.D. Martinez in 2017 at Dodger Stadium, and today at Chase.
I'm going to give it a 6.7. I think it was exciting. I think it was solid. We have heard that broadcasters have this moment where they let the crowd, like they call let the moment breathe, or like let the crowd kind of come through.
In the chat, Andrew says this call is pretty legendary. I love when the announcer just shut up for a sec to let the crowd noise shine.
I think that's an important aspect to it. I think it was cool that he tied in some history and kind of talked about that. Because in reality, you don't prep that before a game. Once he hit his third, I'm sure there was some notes that were thrown his way in preparation for it. But I think it's a 6.7. I think there was almost too much time to let the crowd breathe. And
yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call.
I think it was probably caught up in the fact that it was such a back and forth game that you almost lost the moment as much. If it was a blowout, or if it was even like a 3 or 4 run game, but the fact that it was to tie the game is late in the game, those kind of spilled into what could have been like a super historic thing. So that's why I'm going 6.7.
I'm gonna jot these numbers down. Maybe keep a running tally as we go along. Yeah, I'm with you. A little too much dead time there in between, but
a little too much.
I think I'd probably prefer a little more than not enough, because if you're just running your mouth,
yeah,
sometimes it takes away. Here's my thing. My favorite element of a good call is when you got the color guy, the partner beside him freaking out.
Yeah.
Behind whatever he's saying, and he was losing it. It just adds a little bit of flair. But I would have loved, it's tough to go up into like the 7s or 8s on something like this. Yeah. I'm going to need a little more juice.
Yeah.
Adequate juice.
Adequate juice.
But I'm going to go 6.4.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to go 6.4.
I thought it was harsh at 6.7. So
6.4 is nothing to turn your nose.
Glad we're on the same page. But either way, look, new segment. I think this is the Sunday segment.
I like that we're starting sort of like middle of the road. It was a good call, but if you start
baseline,
if you start with the call of the season, then it's only downhill from here.
Yeah. So this is a big. You're gonna need your help as a listener. If you got moments, you got calls. It doesn't have to be a home run. It could be a diving play. It could be radio, by the way. It doesn't have to be TV.
Oh, radio. They have to make it work because you got as a on the radio call, you got to paint a picture.
Yep.
Sometimes those are better than.
So I think what this will do. Can we give him his flowers? By the way, I don't know this broadcaster's name. I think that's something important too.
That's true. Yeah, let's show
spread
some
the
love.
name of broadcasters because that's not overly common, unless you're like a fan of that team.
Isn't Bob Brenly in the booth?
Mm-hmm. Well, he was. I don't know if he is since this new.
Yeah, Bob Brenly's in the booth.
Is he?
Steve. So, D-backs fans are gonna have to help me out here. I can never pronounce this name. Steve Burthame. Couldn't
sure.
Berthiaume.
That's a tough one.
That is tough.
Tough one to start out. But
anyway, it's easy for you to sit there and scoff at my pronunciations when I'm always the guy that's doing the pronunciating.
I feel like he used to be like an ESPN guy too, or like a Sports Center guy back in the day.
Steve Berthiaume, maybe? That sounds right.
But anyway, would love help on this. Send us certain plays. We can dig up calls.
He was an ESPN guy, Sports Center. Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
That's what I thought. But yeah, send us stuff. Could be throughout the week. But Sunday segment. I don't know. We don't have a name for it yet, but
we'll figure it out.
I like this.
I like it. Yeah, Eugenio Suarez all coming in a loss, which is certainly unfortunate, but what can you do? Speaking of what can you do, Devin Williams removed as a closer. The very next episode after we talked about where the panic meter is at for certain closers around the league, one of whom being Devin Williams, no longer the closer for the time being.
Did he blow a save that night, or was it the next night?
Your guy...
It was the next night.
He made the announcement today, I think.
Yeah, but he blew a save Friday. I think
it would have had to have been
Thursday.
When we recorded, I think he only had 9 appearances at that point last time we talked. So if he did, because I think he's only got 10 now.
Yeah, I think it was Friday. But yeah,
I mean,
tough, man.
I like that Luke Weaver, we talked about this last episode. I like that Luke Weaver is kind of getting his opportunity again.
Yeah.
Because I hate to say it, but I liked him in that spot. I think he's mentally, I think he's got the makeup for it, it seems. Yeah. And he's something that doesn't really matter or impact what he's doing this year or really any other year for that matter. I just think it's an interesting observation. And I mentioned this, I think, last year during the postseason when he was really getting his shine. Very similar build to young Mo, if we're being honest. Like,
it's true.
Very, very similar build. So who knows? Maybe Luke Weaver. What was that comp I made the other day? Chris Bassett is this generation's Nolan Ryan. Maybe Luke Weaver is this generation's Mariano.
Yeah, maybe. That's tough. Sorry, I was looking something up, but
man,
yeah,
tough crowd with Nate today. He is just not
dialed.
He's
not dialed.
He's not letting me be me.
Sunday.
He's not letting me be me. Is what I'm gathering.
I'm the problem here.
Real critical. Just trying to have a good time on this Sunday evening.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad we're here Sunday. At least it's not Monday.
Preach.
Yeah, dude. We talked about it already. He's not spotting fastball, and when you're a 2-pitch pitcher, the changeup it needs the fastball. It needs that. It's not effective without it.
I've got a number here for you.
It's going to be ugly.
Where is it? Let me make sure I got it. Batters had an 0.97 average last year against his changeup. They're hitting 273 against it this season.
Yeah, dude. Because like
they're hitting 462 against his fastball, which is up from 111 last year.
Yeah, dude. If you're at least the last few appearances, he's been yanking fastball like glove side and just not being able to throw it for a strike. So it's like guys are able to sit in that changeup. If you see a changeup down, you can leave it down. If you see that changeup up in the zone, you know the fastball is not going to be in the zone. It has to be the changeup. So get after it. And that's what's been happening. He's walking guys. Just it hasn't looked good. He's not getting ahead. It's a lot of full counts. It's super ugly. I said it before. I'm still on the fence of like whether New York is the right fit. I don't know if I'm just picking up on like his vibe and pressers and interviews and stuff. It's hard to tell because it's weird. Like there's this level of like accountability that you feel like you want a player to have and take on an accountability ability with the struggles. But at the same time, like it's weird. I can't pick up on the way he's saying stuff. It just doesn't seem super accountable. And then it's also tough, man. Like it's not easy to, again, coming over from Milwaukee, a long established career, going to New York, but like he didn't do well in spring. Pete may have broke him, dude.
That's very possible. But don't make me feel old. You said long established career. Don't make me feel old with this. How long was he in Milwaukee? Well,
he's the setup man behind Hader for at least 3 years,
He was in
Milwaukee,
right? For 6 years.
So I was going to say 6.
That's right, because he would have been the setup guy for Hader, like you said,
Yep.
19. Or he was at least in the mix in 19, his first year. The year that was the Nationals World Series year. That's who they random tidbit. That's who they played in the wild card game.
I don't know, man, but
this is the guy they changed the beard rule for. This guy. What? No. What's Who was the most vocal about it?
He wasn't that vocal about it. He didn't really say anything. It was all the fans making fun of the way he looked because he doesn't have a chin, which was probably a part. I would
This
probably
headline from ESPN: Devin Williams helped spur new facial hair rule.
I don't know how much I'm buying in on it.
So you're not buying Jeff Passan's article? Is that what you're telling me?
No, because every other article said that this wasn't the deciding factor. But whatever, it is what it is. Hopefully steps into a different role and figures it out. But I don't have much expectation in that area.
I got short porch today. I saw what is that? I can never remember the handle, but if you know, you know. The New York Post short porch. It's like the parody account. They said they tweeted out today or yesterday or something.
Something New York.
Something to the effect of Yankees have announced that they're changing or that they're forcing Devin Williams to shave in hopes that it will motivate him to return to elite status. I'm like, I mean, if there was a team that was going to get weird with their kind of already weird facial hair system that they've already made tweaks to this year, obviously, it'd be the Yankees. So Yeah, that was not a good look for me. But I used critical thinking. I said, let me go back and check my source. And I read it again and realized that
good for you.
Not the case.
There you go.
How long do you think this lasts? How long, or I should say, how long do you think it's till he's back in the closer role? Because he's not being demoted. I mean, he's not being sent down, I should say. He's just being given low leverage.
Barring an injury, can we just say post All-Star break?
You think that long?
Yeah.
Really?
Because Weaver's not gonna lose this role. Unless he's hurt, he's not gonna lose this role. This is gonna have to be something of like Weaver has closed out 2 or 3 consecutive games and it's a close one and you know the bullpen's taxed, like we gotta go to him again. Like, and that's after, I don't know, at least 10 or 15 solid appearances, which isn't looking to be happening anytime soon. Like, he's clearly gonna have to figure something out. I don't know, man.
But is Devin Williams not the de facto closer? And if he shows that he can at least, that he's not giving up run after run after run, that just it'd be a matter of time before he's back into the role that he was given?
I think he would have to not only figure his stuff out, he would have to outperform Weaver.
Which is hard to judge as a lower leverage guy at that point.
Yeah, which is like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon.
I was thinking like a month, but you're saying post break.
I was looking something up earlier because Michael Kay said something kind of crazy on the broadcast when they were talking about it. And he said that, I didn't know this, it was like back in the late 70s, Sparky Lyle won the Cy Young as a closer. And then the next year, the Yankees brought in Goose Gossage. And it's just like, it's just wild to hear that. It's wild to hear that, man. It's just, it's a crazy position. We talked about it last episode. It's a very one of the most difficult roles to have in baseball, and I don't dislike Devin Williams. And in fact, I think Mark Leiter Jr. is more of a bum than Devin Williams is right now. So that's where I'm at. The bullpen is shaky, man. They have Loaizaga potentially coming back soon. This Fernando Cruz cat, if you haven't watched that splitter that he throws, it's unreal. It's kind of like a knuckleball. It's insane. That is likely going to step into a bigger role. So I don't know, man. I don't know. They put up some good runs this weekend, but like outside of that, this bullpen does not give me a ton of faith.
Nate, we are 1 month officially into the MLB season, having started the season with opening day on March 27th. It is.
Did that happen fast for you or slow? It's hard to say, right? I feel like a lot has happened in a month.
A lot has happened. I'm kind of with you where you're like, how are we still in April? Yeah. There's a lot of mixed emotions there, but the fact of the matter is we're a month in, and to your point, a lot has happened. So let's sort of talk about where we're at a month in. And to those saying, well, how can you really take stock in anything that's going on a month into the season? Like we talked about.
What else do we have to go off of?
Well, yeah, what else do we have to go off of? But you got to keep in mind.
Start recording in June? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, we could.
From us?
We could. I mean, if we sign off here, if it's what the people prefer, we can. I
think that's rude.
We lay low until July, baby. Post break. No, But the fact of the matter is these games, people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to admit it. But these games are just as important as the games that happened in the second half, last third of the season. Because like we talked about, if you're able to stack wins, you're able to offset the inevitable slide that always hits, no matter the team, no matter the division, no matter the league. The slide is coming for your team. Some teams are just in a perpetual slide, it seems. Colorado Rockies, I'm looking at you. Nate, I laughed. Before we started recording, I laughed. And I was laughing because I actually looked, I did myself a disservice, and I looked at the bottom of the National League West. Nate, they're 4-23.
They've won one game on the road.
They're 1-14 on the road.
They're negative 69 in run differential.
The Chicago White Sox, who were the worst team of all time last year, have won 3 more games.
The Rockies could be on Woat Watch already.
A season after the White Sox do it is what you're saying? Is that where we're at?
I think that's where we're at. They're closing out with the Braves. They're closing out the month with the Braves.
Wow. I mean, talk about a chance to get back on track. No, I'm just kidding. Braves are 7-3 in the last 10. Give them their credit. Give them their credit.
Relax.
But looking around the league though, anything jump out at you a month in?
I knew the Orioles pitching was gonna be rough. I just didn't expect them to be this bad this early. Rounding out the bottom of the AL East at 10-17.
Orioles fans are down, and I hate going back to this but Orioles fans are down real bad right now because I'm seeing too many tweets being like, man, we just really need Zach Eflin to get back. Like, do you hear yourselves?
Is that your savior?
Is that where we're at?
Zach Eflin?
Baltimore Orioles? Come on.
That's a low place to be.
I've been throwing way too much shade at Zach Eflin, but it's more about the state of their staff. That's what it is.
It's absolutely a ricochet, but it's a valid point because that guy should not be here to save the day for you. It's just rough, man. You gotta wonder when, I know it's not even May yet, but like, how long of a leash does Brandon Hyde have? Let's be honest. I think that's a legitimate question. How long of a leash do you think he has?
I mean, is it on him though? We spent all offseason saying Orioles do something.
Absolutely think it's on the front office. But heads have to roll.
As they always do. But it just seems unfair.
It does.
It really seems unfair because this is the guy who we talked years ago about. You brought back after how many seasons of just total slop. You're like, all right, you earned this an opportunity you earned this opportunity to ride it out with these young guns and a team that we're going to supplement with talent. They didn't do that. They continued to ride this train of like 18-year-old blondies that look like they're 12. Right. And they said, this is what we've got. Best of luck. And while they haven't exactly been terrible, you need more than that.
Yeah. The roster configuration is it's bad. But
because as we saw in the postseason, back-to-back years, young talent can only get you so far. You need experience. You need veterans. You need guys that have been around the block. They didn't do that. And if they consider Tyler O'Neill that guy, I hate to break it to you, that's not going to get it done.
Who's been terrible, by the way. Terrible.
He had his opening day shine, and really hasn't been in the news since. So,
you want to popcorn this, or do you want me to hit you with another one?
Hit me with another one. That's a good point. In the chat, Laura in the chat. Well,
500, by the way.
Last thing on the O's. Laura makes a good point. Hyde changes the lineup almost every day. I'm seeing a lot of that from Orioles fans, that they're just like, even if the lineup is bad, give us a little consistency. Like, give these guys a chance to, because I mean, you and I both know sometimes you need to get settled in a position in the lineup. Like if you're going to be a bottom half guy, you know you're going to get attacked pretty early. So like that changes your approach. If you're 1 through 4 guy, you're going to get approached differently. But if you're constantly being bounced around, you have you don't have any consistency in a slot, and 2, you don't have the opportunity to mentally prepare for how you're going to be approached as a hitter in a given slot, because you're going to be in a different slot the next night.
I agree. I'm not saying he's blameless. I'm not saying that he deserves all the blame. But it's a little bit different when you're managing a team with expectations. And he's been there long enough where majority of the seasons didn't have expectations. And I feel like the sample size has been big enough. We're over 2 years at this point with young talent and a lot of hype and a lot of excitement, and especially new ownership and new vibes around the city. Like, I just don't think the leash is super long.
It's
not all his fault, but
I saw a tweet or a comment or something talking about how Orioles fans got duped by Rubenstein's optimism, saying he's going to come in and change the narrative, and people bought it, including myself. I was like, all right, this guy seems legit.
It's tough, man.
Kind of like the Stevie Cohen route, but Stevie Cohen actually backed it up.
And he's in the crowd. He's tossing out hats. He's in the splash zone. It's tough to see. Maybe we need to get Ryan on soon and kind of pick his brain. He's so optimistic, but
Ryan needs to be manager.
Maybe.
I think this is where this story goes next.
Anyway, I was starting to get after it.
You said the A's.
How about the A's at 500 ball right now? You know,
go ahead, and
that's solid.
You don't need to convince me, guy. You need to take a look in the mirror, because
I don't need to take a look in the mirror. I just don't have them in a freaking wild card spot.
You need to take a look in the mirror. Is what you need to do.
You're insane. There's a happy medium of the way we need to look at this team, and the way you're looking at it, and the way a lot of people have been looking at it in the past. But anyway, I don't want to waste time on that. I'd like to talk about. It looks good. It looks impressive. I get that it's a minor league ballpark, and maybe the offense is overperforming, but like, I don't know, man. I like the young kids. I like that Severino has like what I would assume stepped into like a pretty cool, unique role over there. Seems like he's doing pretty well with it. So that was my other thing that I just looking at this kind of jumped out at me. You got anything?
Sorry, I was trying to confirm a stat. You said A's, and who did you follow up with?
No one.
Just A's. Just A's.
You're just so locked in today, man. You just got the beach mentality that you're trying to. You still got sand in your shorts over there.
Sand everywhere, dude. No, but you're talking about the A's keeping it in that division, though. I was gonna say I'm pleasantly surprised with what the Mariners have done thus far.
Yeah.
Kind of, I think people had them in the mix, and it's a month in. Not saying they're running away with the West by double-digit games, but the fact that the Rangers are doing, I think, what we thought they would do. The Astros, right there. Sort of in the hunt in that division as well. And I think that's going to be the case. But the Mariners being the ones that are out front a month in is surprising. The Angels, whatever.
There's guys with it, going back to the Mariners, there's guys that are hitting that. This is what we've said. This is what's been said for a few years now, is that like somebody has to start hitting there. And it's starting to happen. Not Julio Rodriguez, but
which is, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but what's going on there, man? Like,
I've been saying it.
what's happening?
I've been saying it.
Like, when does the narrative change with Julio Rodriguez? And I'm not trying, like, I'm really not trying to crap on the guy. I'm really not. But
He's got a 674 OPS. He struck out 31 times already. I don't know, man.
What is it about?
Are we going to start going down like a Luis Robert path? At least Luis Robert had like injuries to blame. I don't know what's going on with this fall off. I know it's early. I know that I may look at Julio Rodriguez in a different light than most fans. I just don't. I don't see enough there.
I think he was just overhyped. I think it was a disservice to him. I don't like. He's over the course of his very short career, like he's putting up good numbers, but not to the
superstar.
No, not to the extent that people I think are trying to make it out to be.
Yeah,
which is not his fault, but it's sort of unfair in a way.
Yeah. Cal Raleigh and Jorge Polanco are clearly the ones carrying the load here.
Cal Raleigh's carrying a load for sure. I mean, not that we gotta rehash this because this has already been one of the more prominent storylines thus far, but the NL West, dude,
I can't explain the Giants. I don't know.
It's a juggernaut. Yeah, I know you can't. You don't like giving the credits their due. But they don't need your credit. Essentially, is what they're.
I ain't stressed.
That's what they're saying. Oh, you prematurely calling for a fall off in San Francisco?
Of course, there's a fall off coming.
Go ahead, put that on record.
I'll put it on record.
Go ahead, put that on record.
Let's say the 27th.
April 27th, soon to be the 28th.
I'll put that on record. Fall off's coming.
How long you think this train stays on the tracks before the fall off?
Let me just see. I gotta see how this is happening. Let me look at some stats here.
Tell you what, Wilmer Flores making a name for face of baseball.
Yeah.
Or at least was early on.
Legit. That's my bright spot and friend of the pod. Yes, of course.
Stop. I'm trying to pick him up in fantasy. Don't just say he's fighting to remain adequate. Say he's fighting to be relevant.
Just does not swing and miss very often.
He's fighting for his career, is what I'm hearing you say.
Sprays the ball everywhere. Great defense. That doesn't matter in fantasy, but
I'm seeing in the chat, Giants will fall off, Padres will fall off. Not so fast on the Padres. They made a good point. I don't remember where I heard it, where I saw it, but talking about the injury bug, like if you can skate through, like you're not at full strength and you're holding your own in the toughest division in baseball.
Yeah. Logan Webb looking real good. Looks like he's back to what we saw a few years ago.
I mean, what do you mean back to what we saw? I thought Logan Webb has been.
I don't think he was great last year. I could be wrong. I don't know.
A good Logan Webb is still.
I don't pay attention to.
He led the NL in
he was solid. He was solid last year. Yeah, 200 innings.
He's an all-star. 3.47
ERA.
But to your point, before that, 3.25, 2.90, 3.03. So like, yeah, still it was not vintage Logan Webb, but still very, very good. But yeah, he's.
Let me see. How many games have they played at home? They've played
cruising this year.
13 games at home. They're doing well on the road. They're 10-6 on the road. Some of these things you wonder. I don't know. You wonder what that ballpark the way it plays now versus the way it plays in June and July. And it's just, other teams are eventually going to start hitting there, I think. So
keeping in the NL, Cincinnati Reds.
yeah, look at that.
Nate, second highest run differential in baseball.
That's legit.
Behind the 42 of the Yankees, Tigers.
Those two. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Tied with the Cubs, at least in that category. 6-6 at home. You'd like to see that get a little better, but this is what Tito does, man. This is what Tito does. We knew this was coming. We knew that there was a new day. I think Hunter Green has still looked great, hasn't he?
He sure has.
Must be nice.
He's coming for that Cy Young.
Yeah, must be nice having him in fantasy.
It's been
fun to watch, huh?
It's been everything I hoped for and more.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Insane. Let me see what else is going on in here. NL West, you're right, man. We might have to look at that as the best division in baseball, like moving forward for at least a few years.
Well, I mean, what would rival it? The American League East, sort of the previous placeholder. Unless something changes with the Orioles.
Yeah. The Blue Jays don't look.
Blue Jays don't have any. I would say not exactly the brightest future. I mean, Vladdy, I think it was everything they could do and then some to get Vladdy to stay put.
Bo Bichette looks depressed, by the way. Watching him all weekend, I was like, bro, you look like you're a shell of yourself.
And we just got done talking about the Orioles. So that leaves, I mean, not to play homer here, but like if the Red Sox are back to their ways, if the Yankees continue to find ways, whether or not a guy like Juan Soto's in the lineup or not, if they continue to find ways to win games, then it's sort of a top-heavy division.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at 4 teams out of the 5 in the National League West being a legitimate threat to take that division.
Yeah. Yeah. NL East, also solid. I would say the NL East has now surpassed the AL East as far as competitiveness.
Also true. Yeah.
I mean, look at Miami, 12-15. Like, who would have thunk that? You could have told me that they were the one that was 4-23, and I would have been like, yeah, I see that. But 12-15, like, that's respectable
For the Marlins, yeah.
Yeah. I think the Nats are, we've said this before, like they're on the come up. I don't think they're in wild card territory at all, but like they're making moves and they have some studs. And yeah, man, I mean, the NL is it's just so much better than the AL. And things are just like, even this early, it's just easy to see that. You're really evident in a lot of different places. I told you the Twins were done, by the way. I'm calling that. I'm calling that now too. Call that early. That's an early call. It's an early call.
I mean, you already made that proclamation, so you're really just reminding people. You're not updating that take. You said that.
Yeah,
you said that a while ago. That's bold. After what, sweeping this weekend?
I don't know. Correa might get released. Just playing. Buxton looks like he's kind of started to find some little power surge though. Ran into
but the pessimist in me,
the
pessimist in me wonders for how long.
Yeah. I think I saw a brief appearance by Class A yesterday. I didn't see how he did. Interested to see how that situation goes forward for Cleveland. That's something to watch, but I mean, we got to give the Tigers their flowers. I mean, they're hitting the ball. They're hitting the ball. Casey Mize looks like he's like really starting to settle in.
What's that staff look like right now?
I mean, those three, like if you say that's going to carry it moving forward, Scooble, Mize, Flaherty, Reese Olson looks good.
Dude, second best rotation in baseball. I mean, if you're just looking at ERA, 2.80 to the Mets 2.53.
This one I trust. I trust this rotation more than what the Mets are doing. Because Scooble's a guy. We saw what Flaherty has in him. Seems like that just Detroit is like the right place for him. And I maybe I'm a little biased here because I snagged him in fantasy and he's been doing well. But Casey Mize looks like I love those stories.
Finally getting to the point where it's like, okay, this is kind of what we were hoping to see.
Him and Torkelson have like this like same arc that they're following together. Like 2 first round picks that like just haven't lived up to the hype, and then finally they're starting to go. I like what I'm seeing, man. I really do. I'd like to see Riley Green get it going though. I'd like to see him get it hot because he's, I think, like the piece. I think he's like if he goes and he is what he's supposed to be, and the Tigers are going to be a problem.
Which reminds me, checking in on our preseason predictions. Please tell me I didn't sleep on the Tigers.
I think I slept on them.
Well, I had the Royals winning the division.
Yeah. I think I slept on the Tigers.
You had them in the postseason, no?
The Tigers? Let me see. That'd be sick. I'd be proud of that.
Nate certainly did not have them in the postseason.
Third. I still have the Guardians taking that
Bro,
division.
Neither of us had them in the postseason. Yeah. That's a tough look. Well, I mean, we're a month in, as we talked about.
May.
Yeah,
let's
chill. It's not even May. It's not even May.
Not even May. It's got to be May.
It's April.
Zach McKinstry. What's going on there?
I really regret. I'm just looking at my pick. Sorry. I really regret giving the Orioles any sort of notoriety this year. I should have known. And for the people that are saying, well, guys, you just said it's not even May yet. No, the Orioles are who we thought they were. I'm gonna go ahead and go on record. April 27th. I'll go on record myself. No, I'm not gonna call them dead. I'm just saying that they are who we thought they were. And you can interpret that however you want, but they were who we thought they were. And however this season ends up for them, just know that that's what I thought was going to happen because they are who we thought they were.
Why do I have this sense that that the Astros are just kind of hanging around?
Because that's what they do.
That's just what they do, right?
Story every season.
Like they've been doing this. They've been doing this, and then Jordan has been miserable. He's been miserable.
Yeah. Well, I think he went yard today.
That's what I'm saying. He's coming.
Yeah. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. I swear, I just had a little deja vu. I flashed back to the clip that you put out maybe a year or two ago, where what was the year that the Astros started off just horrendous? You remember this?
I think it was last year, wasn't it?
Was it last year? And you were like, to all the people out there talking noise on the Astros, just sit tight. Sit tight. And what happened? They literally turned into the hottest team in baseball for what felt like the better part of 2-3 months.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like that's not what's fully going to happen this year. But to your point, if you've got Jordan coming, they're certainly not going to get worse.
Yeah, they're not running away with the division by any means, but they're going to have to do it differently. We talked about this before. It's just interesting that you haven't seen anything out of them that's like spectacular. They're just hovering around 14-13. you've got absolutely nothing out of your all-star. You've got nothing out of the staff, really. Well, Hunter Brown's been great, but yeah, like it's just there's just a matter of time before like Framber Valdez goes on like a 30 scoreless inning streak. You know what I mean? Like there's just something that's coming, and then the Astros just bang, all of a sudden you get a 2-3 game lead in the division. So,
and then we get to the offseason where Kyle is asking, are we finally at the point where the Astros window has come to a close? I think this is the year.
Yeah.
And then Kyle
all the time.
And then Kyle is looking like a fool at the end of yet another season. But yeah, looking at the numbers here, Rays, is surprising the right word? ERA, they're 8th in all of baseball, 3.46. The Giants 7th, Royals, Rangers, Astros, Padres. Padres, we already talked about. Their staff is gross right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, like we said, as a team, they're just not even at full health. So curious to see what that turns into when they finally get to that point. Reds top 10 staff in baseball. Love to see that.
I feel like the Phillies are coming soon.
They're due. They're due.
That offense has looked kind of bleak. Put up 10 yesterday. Ended up winning tonight's game.
They have a run differential of 0. So I mean they're about as mid as it gets right now.
Yeah. 5-5 in their last 10. Yeah. 6-9 on the road. I mean, that's just, yeah. Everyone's talking about how like great of a start the Mets have had, and I agree. I'm not disagreeing there, but like that division is just, it's not going to be a landslide at all. It's no matter what, this is a division to watch the entire season, and I could see them just rotating on those types of months. You know, Mets are potentially going to finish this month with the 20 wins. Like I could see the Phillies having a 20-win month. I see the Braves having a 20-win month. It's just going to be cool to watch the whole time. I'm not dead on the Braves yet.
Well, I can't be. I have to ride this train because I had them winning the division.
I think I did too. In
the face of the critics calling for said landslide on behalf of the Mets, I can't pull myself to get to that point. No, you actually had the Phillies winning the East.
Did I?
Yeah.
That's right. That was a last minute change up.
Yeah, you had the Phillies in the East, Cubs in the Central, D-backs in the West.
I ain't dead on that either.
Which was a take that I was not willing. Yeah. I also was not willing to come around on, but you know, credit to you. Credit to you. Nate, a name that I want to throw out there. Just kind of putting some feelers out there. Michael Busch, 11th best OPS in baseball. 930.
Legit. Cubs are legit, man.
I feel like we mentioned his name more than once coming into this year, saying keep an eye on Michael Busch.
Yeah. I like what's going on over there. Not a whole lot going wrong.
Jonathan Aranda, 968 for the Rays.
This is what they do, bro. It's so annoying. Like they have these names that are just like prospects that it seems like no one really talks about, and then all of a sudden, bang, they're on the scene. They look amazing, and then they sprinkle in some vets that just maybe haven't had like the greatest track record elsewhere. Wasn't he a Twin for a long time, Aranda?
No, he's been in the Rays organization for just a few years.
Is there another Aranda that played for the Twins?
That's going to be some phenomenal recall if so. The Aranda twins. Who's the other twin?
Wait, he's a twin?
Hold on.
Not a Minnesota twin, but like a twin with another Aranda.
I'm getting to the bottom of it.
I like this.
I don't think there's not a twin. Not a brother twin. And was never a Minnesota twin. He has a .091 batting average against the Twins. That's all I have for you on Aranda and the Twins.
Take me to Baseball Reference right now.
He wasn't a twin, dude. He's an only child. No, I'm kidding. I get what you're saying, but
I swear there's another Aranda that I've. Anyway, but this is what the Rays do, man. They just have young guys that just you never hear of them, and then all of a sudden they're on the scene. They're super successful, and then they just sprinkle in a couple other vets, and they're just in the hunt. It's just what the Rays do. And now you place them in a ballpark that seems to be an absolute frenzy offensively, and they're going to be in the conversation this year. Big surprise.
Wanted to look real quickly here. A name that
is this like a semi canon list, or what do we got here?
No, I would never. I would never pull out the cannons on a Sunday. This is the Lord's Day. I wouldn't pull out the cannons on the Lord's Day.
It just feels that way a little bit.
It does. Yeah. I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due. And again, this is looking at the body of work through the course of a month. The cannons are more often than not
the week.
Like the last week or two.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I was doing the cannons the first few times, that's all we really had to go off of because that's how old the season was.
Yeah.
But as the season goes on, it'll be like a week or two. So don't be hitting me up. Which, by the way, I've had people message me like it was atrocious that such and such didn't get the.
I like it. They're holding you accountable.
They're holding me accountable. And you know what? It was requested, or rather, it was relayed to me that it was a shame that Dylan Moore didn't get the cannon. So Dylan Moore, credit cannon.
Lord's Day.
Well, it's like an hour and a half until Monday, so it's fine. Anyway, a name that I wanted to. We already mentioned Hunter Brown. Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah.
In fact, then that's a couple names in that. Well, outside of today, I think he had a rough go of it. But Mitchell Parker too. Couple of the guys in that rotation looking rather good this year. Mitchell Parker again, outside of today, was off to. Without getting into like credit cannon territory here, to your point, let's look at this quick game log here real quick. And I know you're going, whoa, this is literally credit cannon verbiage. But
yeah, man.
I mean, his last start out before today, 8 innings against the star-studded Baltimore Orioles. 8 shut. And he's looked good pretty much every other start of the way.
I got a legitimate question. No knock here. Do we have a mustache problem?
Like, is it an epidemic?
Yeah.
It's not.
Could be culture wide here. I kind of want to blame Morgan Wallen a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, and not that we got to go like, this isn't like a boomer take, but like men used to go to war and now they're making TikTok dances. So there's got to be a correlation to like testosterone here now. Right? I mean, at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why these mustaches are looking a little weak.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think everyone I don't think it should be as utilized as it is. But if
Yeah,
you keep pitching this way.
Just what's that quote from Jurassic Park? They spent so much time figuring out whether they could that they didn't stop to think whether they should.
What a bar.
That's kind of where we're at here with the mustache epidemic across baseball.
What a bar.
Do you think Devin Williams makes a change to a mustache? Maybe takes a go at that. Maybe that fixes things.
Brothers got to change something. We got to shake something up.
Gotta change something. Any other thoughts on the state of the league a month into the season?
No, I mean that was a good round table discussion there.
My Orioles prediction of leading the league in homers really took a turn.
Oh,
They're tied for 9th with 33. The Dodgers are
got half of those on opening day.
The Dodgers and Yankees are tied for first with 45 apiece. So that's not looking great for me, but at least I'm not an Orioles fan. Anyway, any other thoughts?
No, that's it.
Closing the book. Tyler Glasnow for the second straight outing was removed early due to an injury. Right shoulder discomfort is what I'm hearing.
I couldn't tell. I was watching Sunday Night Countdown for Sunday Night Baseball, and which, by the way, I don't love. Sunday Night Countdown is for Sunday Night Football. ESPN is so freaking lazy. Change it for baseball, please. Anyway, I was watching that, and they're like running through the league, and they're showing highlights, and he's like, it's in between innings, and then he like. You can see that he like bends. I saw it as him like bending over to get out of the way from like the catcher's throwdown in between innings. And then all of a sudden he's walking off the field. And I was like, I thought he was just bending over out of the way. So now it's a shoulder thing. So it's back, shoulder. I mean, they don't need to be full strength. This is why I hammered the under on 105 wins this year, because I think it's just load management across their entire roster.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win a lot of ball games. They're still going to win 90 games. I don't think 105 is in the mix because you have a lot of these names that just, you don't need them the whole time. They don't need a full season.
Yeah, and I get it. Look, we talked about how deep the Dodgers were, and I'm not like walking that back. I'm not changing my stance on how good I think the Dodgers are going to be this year, but this is like we've already said, this makes it like multiple times this season where we've already said like they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's true, but let's try to like dial the need to say that back a little bit. If you're the Dodgers, like, yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're deep. Another guy goes down. Another guy goes down. Like,
yeah,
you're deep, but
just be cautious. I don't know.
It's cautious.
It's tough, man. I'm glad I'm not a Tyler Glasnow fantasy owner. I wouldn't want to manage that.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
In other news, Jarren Duran was held back in a confrontation today. I don't know if you saw that, but apparently there's a fan in Cleveland that was allegedly heckling him regarding his mental health issues.
Oh boy,
just a loser move. But I do want to give
in Cleveland, which is a little shocking.
That's Cleveland.
I just thought Ohio was just filled with polite
careful.
Know. I thought everyone was polite there.
I see what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah.
I thought you were just saying, yeah, okay. I got you. No, but to your point, I do want to give credit to the Guardian fans because apparently this was the only guy. Nobody else was joining in. And in fact, from what because I wasn't watching the game driving back today, but I had the game on.
Sure.
And I wasn't. You think Meredith's going to sit there and let me watch a game as I'm driving down 95? No, not happening.
My wife does.
Well, you also don't stop at stop signs in your neighborhood, so
It's a neighborhood thing.
I'm not surprised. Anyway, authorities, if you're out there listening, if you contact me, I can give you this man's address and we can handle this like gentlemen. You can have him removed from the neighborhood. No, but they turned on this guy. They started booing this guy that was heckling Jarren Duran.
See, that sounds like
they all joined. Classic Cleveland. They all joined forces and got this guy to there. They were booing him on the way out. He got removed from the park. Don't know if a ban of any sorts is incoming for that particular individual, but just a loser move. Like, especially in light of the documentary that came out and everything. And not to say that everybody has to be aware of what was shared in the documentary, because unless you're a Red Sox fan or like just a diehard baseball fan, you may not. It's
also a loser move to like be aware of it, because clearly you're
true. If you're heckling him, you're aware of the issue. So like just be better. Just be better, man. Come on. And lastly, you wanted to bring up a story about JC Escarra.
Yeah, dude. Sick story. Yankees backup catcher hit his first career home run today. And he's 30. Bro was drafted, I think, twice. He was drafted in like 2015, 2017. But he was like super late. It was like 15th round with the Orioles. Didn't pan out. Spent some years in minor league system. Started playing indie ball. While he was playing indie ball, he was a substitute teacher and an Uber driver. And then last year gets a minor league deal with the Yankees. Looks really good in camp. Breaks camp with the big league team this year as the backup catcher. And today hit his first big league home run. And it was a shot. So it's cool. It's a good story, man. Like, it's 30 years old. This guy's he's a backup catcher. This is probably the highlight of his baseball career. I think it's very neat. And I don't know if any guys listening that maybe their wives like don't know a ton about baseball, kind of like mine. She always likes to like shots fired always, but she likes to latch on. She likes to latch on.
He doubled down. He said, "Yeah, I'll let her know."
She likes to latch on stories and like she loves underdogs. So like she was like, "Who's like the Yankee I need to be rooting for this year?" And I was like, there's no better story than JC Escarra. So,
I mean, how many ABs is this guy expected to get?
Not much. I mean, I think he's gotten into like 9 or 10 games already this year, but that's like a late blowout AB kind of thing. Today was a doubleheader, so he's caught the second game. So like, it's just rare stuff like that, but it's just cool to see, man. Cool to see. It's pretty insane. And, I just love those stories, guys that understand what it's this close to being real world life. You see that Brandon Marsh interview with him? I saw his name. What happened?
He
was in the minor league uniform, and he's just like, like, hey man, it's been tough, but like, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to still be here, dude. Never would have thought I was playing ball until 27. Like, it's an incredibly humble response. And it's very easy when we get so caught up with big leaguers or professional athletes in general that feel so entitled. So it's cool to see stories like this and to hear sound bites like Brandon Marsh. And I think stuff we should shed light on.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else before we get this week underway?
I gotta go eat some dinner. So that's it. That's all I got.
Kind of same, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like almost midnight here.
Tough. I got one for you. Last thing.
What you got?
I heard this. It's super non-baseball related.
Even better.
could be slightly baseball related depending on your answer. But I heard this question and I was like, this is a great KC question here. Do you remember a few episodes ago we were talking about?
Sorry, before I forget, remind me to update you on the MLB TV commercial thing before we go.
Okay.
What do you got? Do
you remember we were talking a couple episodes ago about like our most punchable faces?
Yes.
In baseball, right? If we want to like take a tick back from the violence and just say,
especially on the Lord's Day,
just say, if there was like a minor inconvenience that you could give an enemy, what would that minor inconvenience be? And I have an answer, but let me know if you have one or if you want to hear mine. And I was thinking about it yesterday.
Well, you've let this marinate, so let me hear yours because Are you saying just like this could apply to anybody that you're kind of like not a fan of in the league?
Yeah, like
okay.
Maybe we take a step back from them being super punchable and just be like, I want to give you the most minor inconvenience. You know what I mean?
I've got kind of a relevant one from this weekend, but please
hit me.
Okay, yeah, I'll start it so you'll probably come up with a better one. I tell you what. I think you're right. I think we step back from the most punchable face and take this minor inconvenience route. I hope.
Do you have a name too?
Well, I was just going to ask you. Remind me who was on my list.
Well, I mean, the typical names. You had A-Rod on your list.
A-Rod, but there was like some current day guys though.
I mean,
I said Robbie Ray.
Sure.
There was somebody else. It was the one that just clicked. Who was it? Oh my goodness.
We got to think around the league a little bit.
Who is the guy?
Is he a Met? Sorry.
I didn't say Tommy.
Another shots fired.
I didn't say
shots fired.
I didn't say Tommy Pham. Who did I say? It wasn't Pete Alonso.
No.
Anyway, whoever it was, the guys that I like least around the league, I hope that anytime you go to the beach, as I did this weekend, that it's upwards of 20, 25 mile an hour winds. Because there is nothing worse than going to the beach. Let me preface this by saying I thoroughly enjoyed our weekend. Thoroughly enjoyed this weekend. It was great. And you're not expecting 90 and sunshine when you go in April, but we go because we got the dog and the weather's still great.
Yeah.
The wind though. I don't know if you've been on a beach when it's like
it's the worst.
When the wind's kicking up.
Yeah.
It feels like you're getting
just
stabbed
pelted,
and
bro.
Shot and pelted all at once.
Yeah. Because you're not wearing layers when you go to the beach.
Correct. Feels like
you got a lot of exposed skin that's just getting
not fun.
Hammered. Yeah,
that's my
right.
timely relevant minor
solid.
inconvenience.
So every time they go, it's windy. This is the one I thought of yesterday. Whatever enemy, I don't care. We could say. I'm going to give it to Jose Siri, to be honest with you, and not because not because he's a Met. Just I've always disliked him. Jose Siri, when you're opening a Chick-fil-A sauce packet and only half of the tab rips open versus the whole lid ripping open.
Yes,
every sauce packet that Jose Siri opens up,
I hate it. Half rips so much. I just about every sauce container I've opened, I throw away with half of the sauce still in it because I'm like, it's not worth the effort.
You get my thumb up in that sauce to take the rest off.
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not doing that.
Yeah. Well, I was crushing some chicken minis yesterday morning, so and every Chick-fil-A sauce that I was opening up, it was halfway, and I was like, this is the most inconvenient thing. Bang, light bulb. So. Maybe that should be a running segment. Minor inconveniences.
I would really like to remember who that guy was that clicked. The most punchable face. I cannot think of it for the life of me.
I thought Robbie Ray was definitely it was Stroman. It was Marcus Stroman.
It was Marcus Stroman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus Stroman. I hope when you hit the beach early this year because you're not playing postseason baseball, I hope.
But he's not playing because he's not going to be a Yankee. Perfect. I get what you're saying.
Either or. I hope you're looking at upwards of 45-mile-an-hour winds.
I don't know how minor that is, but I'll take it. It's a good answer. All right.
Oh, last thing. Update on the MLB TV commercials.
You got a new one.
All right. No. So I think I'm starting like a little bit of a conspiracy here. I think Major League Baseball television, as it's formerly and properly known, has bugged my home because literally since the day I told you that the only commercial that I saw focused on a team on MLB TV, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of California, I have seen
every other team.
I kid you not. I have not seen other commercials for like products, for businesses, for brands. Yeah. I only see commercials for players and teams now. They're like, you know what? We're not even going to try to sell you anything. We're just going to let you know that we're not as high on the Angels as you thought. And if you think that's me walking back my take, it's absolutely not. I think that there's something going on though. I think
we're all in our own little matrix of MLB TV commercials.
They turned the dial or something, and they said, you know what, we're gonna let him know what's what.
Did you ever see Lost? The show?
And I regret ever seeing that show.
Like the numbers.
Yeah,
exactly. There's just a guy in the control room.
That's it.
Controlling the commercials. Just focused on the numbers the whole time.
That's it.
In this bunker.
They said, oh, this guy's on to us. Pump him with some giant stuff.
He's in the bunker. Just oh, that's so good.
Which last thing I'll say on that, like as much as I hated them only showing me one team, it's equally as bad, if not worse, that they show me every team now, because it's like you can't genuinely believe that all 30 teams are this sneaky dark horse team. Like some of these teams, like I'm waiting for the Rockies promo.
Comments. Yeah,
I'm waiting for the Rockies promo because how are you gonna incorporate that MLB TV?
Very true.
We'll test your artistic talents and abilities with that one. Anyway, okay, that's all I had.
I'm out. Go buy some Chinook seeds. Other than that, don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.